All right. Well, hey everyone, Adam Kiss here. I just wanted to give a fairly brief reintroduction, or for some of you, an introduction to this amazing tool that we have. We've negotiated with Heartland Financial to have access to this quoting engine, and we've been able to do that at no cost to you, which is very exciting. So the main purpose of this is really to streamline your business, really helping you understand what carriers will be the best fit for your client, with mainly factoring in their different health conditions, medications, etc. It's the first of its kind. There's plenty of quoting tools out there, but this part right here is absolutely what differentiates it. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and give the brief introduction, and I'll have a couple follow-up videos answering some questions, etc. So right up at the top, you're going to see a drop-down box. FEX is for final expense. Okay. You also do have the option to do term. Now, this is typically designed for the senior market, well, especially in final expense. While you'll see some of the carriers, we can go down to age 0 on these products. Primarily, it's for 50 and above. But that being said, please don't keep it that much in a box. There is more access to various ages and health conditions through this portal. The other part on term, again, we're typically talking 25, 50, 100, 200,000 and up worth of term insurance for that individual that is maybe 50 and older. That automatically this system's factoring in simplified issue because they probably have some health conditions. Okay, so right across the top you see the quoter. You can look at all of these, and again, the more that you get familiar with it, the easier it is to do. But I do want to address customized carriers right here. This is where you should click only the carriers that you're currently appointed with. That being said, you really need to get the handful of carriers we've recommended. You need to get yourself appointed with them and have access to them. Okay, there's a strategic reason for a number of these carriers, mainly about the health condition. Some carriers will favorably underwrite medical conditions or certain medications more than others, i.e. insulin-dependent diabetics or COPD. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Okay, so very straightforward. A face amount here, premium. Now, from a selling perspective, you got to sell by premium. In other words, this has to be designed that the client can absolutely afford this monthly premium, good times and bad. You may need to use a face amount to put some context to it, but at the end of the day, to show $100 a month plan, doesn't matter how much coverage it's giving them. If they can't afford the $100 a month, you're going to lose. They're going to cancel that policy. Okay, so for these purposes, I'm just going to put $60 a month, and type of coverage, level. Level means instant coverage. Okay, so what does that mean as far as the carrier is concerned? That means that after you've completed the application, preferably electronically, and hit submit, the system is immediately doing its underwriting. Pardon me. It's immediately doing an IntelliScript prescription history. Now remember, not what the client is taking. The system is going to see every single medication that's been prescribed to that client. Okay? You are a field underwriter. Okay? What you ask and the way you ask it is absolutely paramount to getting the right information. If you're just very generic, you're going to get a quote that comes back that's not realistic. Your client's going to get declined and you're going to be upset. You need to invest probably an extra 3 or 4 minutes into this to get you the most accurate quote. So again, level means instant coverage. Guaranteed, okay, we refer to that as a return of premium. That is an absolute last resort. Absolute last resort. That means we've verified that there's no possibility we can get that client approved with first day coverage. And this tool is going to help you with that. Guaranteed return of premium means if the client dies in the first 2 years, the beneficiary will get all the premiums paid plus 10% interest. Now, that being said, when it is a last case scenario and the client has no other options, it is a winner winner. It is a game changer because your attitude should be, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I've got unbelievable news. I know because of your health conditions and you've previously been declined and these medications, we can't get you first day coverage, but I've been able to secure you guarantee life insurance. Okay. And your money sitting in the bank earning no interest, you're going to give yourself a great amount of protection by taking a little bit of that every month. And if you die in the first 2 years, your beneficiary not only gets everything you paid, but 10% interest. So everything is how you sell it. Okay. So male, female. In this case, let's do a male, Missouri. Okay. I was helping someone else with a quote. And for the record, the system just automatically saves the last quote and information you put in. It's not a CRM, but it will just maintain that. So let's do 1956. Okay, so now I have a 67-year-old. Let's say they're 5'6", 150. All right, let's go ahead and make them say 5'9", 210. Okay, most of the carriers in this model are very, very liberal when it comes to their height and weight chart, also known as a build chart. It says optional, unless you know for a fact they're within really good tolerances of weight. It's not that important. However, if you're looking at someone and you know they're big, one of our reps called me, and initially I was given information that they were 6 feet, I forgot, 280, something like that. It turned out they were 6'3", 310. This is the truth. That could have made the difference on the quote that we showed them. Okay. Last bit of underwriting help here for you guys is nicotine. Okay. There's also a better way to present this to your client. Okay. You want to tell them, hey, listen, the good news is since I represent so many different carriers, I'm going to be able to find you the best plan that fits your situation. But the system needs to know in the last 12 months, have you had any form of nicotine? Not just a cigarette, not just a cigar, but what about the Jantex or Nicorette gum? Okay, so imagine they had Jantex. That's a prescription. When they run the script check, they're going to see, wait a minute, this person is taking a patch that has nicotine in it. They're going to immediately just give them a smoker rate. So even if they told you no, it's because you just said, hey, do you smoke? All right, so just a little tidbit there. Monthly bank draft. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and run this quote, not putting any other health conditions. Okay, let's get back to this. We're talking about how much will $60 a month for a male in Missouri, 67 years old, that's 5'9", 210 pounds with no nicotine. And this shows you the face amount. Now, it's crazy how different these face amounts are, right? When you still grow. Now, look at how often they change, even in between carriers with their different products, okay? Once you've come up with a budget, you're fine. Let's go back and say, how much would $10,000 of permanent life insurance, whole life, permanent? You always got to get quote. Family Benefit Life, also known as Trinity. Now, we've elected not to get everyone appointed with that carrier, and there's a couple of reasons why. The main reason is we've got another couple carriers that we do need you to be appointed with. When you talk about, a 50 cents per month difference, okay, it's not earth shattering. Okay, so we got Lafayette Life, Transamerica, we can go on and on, Aetna, Mutual of Omaha. Here's how I look at these things. Okay, number one, I'm always thinking about the client. Number two, the next step is to say, okay, if I've got really about $1 a month difference between these top three, Who am I more comfortable giving business with? Okay, meaning how easy is the application? How is the customer service for not just you, but and or your clients? Go ahead and factor those things in, because a 50 cents a month or $1 a month difference is not important if you're not able to get good coverage for a client, and when you need help, they're there for you, etc. Okay, it's very straightforward. Now what I want to do is take that same client and I want to put a health condition in. We've been talking about this a lot. COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Okay, that is a chronic respiratory condition. So I got a little tidbit for you. For any of you who sell Medicare Advantage, I don't know if you've sold a client a respiratory chronic CSNP. So in other words, do you have any clients that you sold a CSNP to for COPD, bronchitis, respiratory conditions? Okay, how good news is this? Let me show you why. Let's assume they're still being treated for it. So date of last treatment. Let's assume that they've been diagnosed, let's say, 4 years. Again, you have to do this with your client. And you tell them this information is critically important because the difference between 1 year and the next could mean coverage or instant death benefit, etc. If the prospect takes any inhalers for this condition, has the medication or related dosage changed at all in the last 3 years? Let's just say, in this case, okay, it has. Maybe they've gone up, maybe they've gone down. Do they take a nebulizer for the medication? Let's go ahead and put no. But if they put yes, that's fine. And is there more? Do they take more than 3 medications? Now remember, not 3 medications in total, specific to the lung or respiratory disorder. Okay, let's put no. Hit get quote. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how radically it changes. Okay. Now, we are starting to look at this product. Aetna has just recently made a significant change to what they're accepting from a chronic COPD condition. All right. But look at the difference in premium. These right here are first day coverage on its surface, right? Well, the other thing this toolkit has, which is awesome, it has a lot of little icons, little dots. You have to look at them. Well, let me show you where you could have made a mistake if you didn't follow this. Warning, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease might cause this case to be referred to an underwriter or an adverse decision. Prepare to put notes on the application. Okay, so what is that telling you? They're basically saying, even though this quote is saying it's preferred, meaning first day coverage, that little warning, that little dot there is letting you know there's a very good chance they won't get instant coverage, because more than likely, the minute you add in a medication, they're going to want an actual underwriter to look at it. And then they dig through the information more deeply. In fact, they could ultimately say, we need to look at more medical records, or we may ultimately want to get an exam done where they'll have an examiner come out to the client's home. Okay, so on its surface, don't think premium. A lot of people think, oh, it's got to be the cheapest. The cheapest isn't always the best. Okay, if this particular client happened to have, we said not more than 3 medications. Let's just say one of those medications was a very, very strong COPD medication. Some of the ones you see on TV. They probably would not have given this client first day coverage. Okay, so we always want to think about saving the client money, but if we can't get the policy issued, we're defeating the purpose. Okay, now when we look at this is showing you Transamerica, that's not first day coverage. Standard, not first day coverage. Standard, look at the little icon, question mark, not first day coverage. Standard. Okay, so you see, even though the carriers are showing you a quote, Okay. And then some of the carriers, I know Mutual Omaha is known for this, but many of the carriers, they actually would cut your commission. So you wouldn't even get your full comp. Look at Mutual of Omaha. They wouldn't even give you your full comp. Why? Because they're taking on a lot more risk. They're basically stating that they want to make sure that they're protected because this client has a severe medical condition. Okay. Now, so you see 73 a month, but it's going to be graded. They're going to cut your commissions. It's a 2-year return of premium. It's telling you this. Please, please don't ignore any little things that you see here. What is that telling you? What we've been trying to push and push and push is this product in your portfolio, Baltimore Life. Number one, it's the cheapest by far, by a mile. And number two, it's the only one currently giving very first day coverage. And this little thing here is also awesome. Anywhere you see a gold star, what is that? That's true Social Security billing. What does that mean? Well, that means that when Social Security electronically deposits the monthly premium into the client's bank account, this carrier, because it is true Social Security billing, okay, it will immediately withdraw that amount electronically overnight. So it's going to be one of the first items coming out of their bank account. It's not the next day that it happens. It literally happens simultaneously. Therefore, seniors that are on a fixed budget, you give them a day or a week, sometimes that Social Security money's gone. So higher retention. Okay. So as you can see, this toolkit has so many really, really good advantages to it. But let's get crazy here. Let's just say that someone has neuropathy. Oh. Diabetic neuropathy. Okay. Date of last treatment. Let's say that they had it a year ago. Date of diagnosis. Let's say they had it a few years. Insulin. Yes. Uncontrolled. When it's a nerve diabetic neuropathy, it's typically not controlled. But let's say that it was controlled. Let's say that their A1C reading, yeah, it was less than that. Now I got a rerun quote. Look at what it does. Boom. Okay. This is really, really, really important. It's basically saying, I can't get you first day coverage with COPD and diabetic neuropathy for nerve. See here how it switched to standard and it's giving you the little icon. All right. So see here, Mutual of Omaha still giving you graded. All right. So here's the thing. One condition could ultimately change how this is written. I just wanted to show you guys something. Now look at this. Royal Neighbors was crossed out, as this other one was, and all of these, saying, hey, based upon what you're telling us, we already know they won't give you coverage. Okay? But watch what happens when I take out the COPD, because we've already established that, right? Now they have diabetic neuropathy. Let me run quote again. Okay? Now, look at what went right to the top. That carrier that wasn't even offering coverage, okay, Royal Neighbors, because the COB and diabetic neuropathy. However, Royal Neighbors is the only carrier that currently gives first day coverage for diabetic nerve neuropathy. So that's the example. So when we tell you need to have this carrier, you need to have that carrier. Because when you come across someone who's an insulin dependent and it's a pretty severe situation like neuropathy, don't you want to have an option in your bank? I mean, think about this. Everyone else that meets that client, number one, they're charging them $13 a month more for a plan that's not even first day coverage, right? Look at this. Almost $22 a month more, and they're not even giving first day coverage. Guess what? All the reps that are out there that are meeting with your mom or your grandma, and they're in this situation, they're so overcharging them for inferior coverage simply because they're not being taught, like we're trying to do, that having a handful of strategic carriers in your portfolio is paramount. Because guess what else happens? Diabetic neuropathy. She knows other diabetic neuropathy clients, and you can get referrals from them saying, oh, yes, guess what I was able to do? Okay? Same thing, COPD. So I just want to encourage you guys to really grab hold of how important this is. Okay? Right here, e-application. You can click that button. Now, what does that mean? It means that you guys had to have gone ahead and not only get appointed, okay, but you had to fill out your username and password so that you gain access to the site. Let's say you get a great opportunity, you get in front of a client, you find out they're diabetic neuropathy, but you never went and filled out the contract, or you never went and put your name on there. You physically couldn't write the app. What if it happened with COPD in Baltimore Life? Okay, so see where this allows you to hit eApp. It's because that carrier has said contractually, okay, like Royal Income, you can't. Family Benefit, you can't. They've said contractually, we're allowing this portal to link directly to our portal. Okay, so I want to encourage you guys to please pay attention. Okay, please look at how important adding these health and drug components to the rate is. It really is important. Okay, so again, I just changed it to $20,000, now gone back to a healthy individual, and look at what happened. Okay, Family Benefit Life, Transamerica, Lafayette Life, etc. So it doesn't matter what you put in. Let me end with this. Most of these carriers, okay, they are treating maintenance medications. You've got high blood pressure, you have cholesterol. It's fairly under control. Okay, so you're ongoing with medications. You even have diabetes, but let's say you're taking metformin or the pill, not insulin. Let's just say maybe you're 20, 30, 40 pounds overweight. Okay, believe it or not, and there's a number of other conditions, most of these carriers are still going to give first day coverage, even though they have some things that back in the day, 25 years ago when I started, you couldn't get carriers to issue policies with anyone who was a diabetic without a very heavy premium. Okay, so the industry's come a long way. This is really designed to help you and or your business. I want to encourage you, please fill out those contracts. Get yourself appointed. When you get the welcome to email from the carrier, which every single person does, go ahead and follow the instructions. Click the link. Create your username and password. They may give you a temporary one. Go online and play with it. Look at the different products, etc. There's a wealth of information when you go on. If I'm looking at this iProvide product, okay, there is so much information. I want to go right to marketing material, that are designed for agents to get familiar, that are designed for clients, okay, toolkits. There's so much information that you get access to, just like you do on your Medicare portals. Guys, thank you so much for your time. We'll continue to have more trainings like this, specific to carriers. If you do not have this quoting tool, please reach out to your manager and we'll get you taken care of right away. Again, thank you for your time.